What up, fam? It's me, Rondo, a.k.a. Parnell Shuttlesworth, b.k.a. your mom's homie, a.k.a. Young Ash Ketchum. I gotta catch 'em all. F.K.A. Mr. Big Stuff. And my pronouns is Black Matrix. And I would like to welcome y'all to the Treehouse out of Chicago. This Tree, the podcast, in conjunction with the Belair Boys. Here we discuss wrestling and all things associated with it. Whether this is your first time checking us out or you've been here before, make sure you are following and you're subscribed. Make sure you're liking and you're reviewing. Make sure you're rating. Make sure you're checking us out. Commenting. All those things give us the analytics we need on this side to know what type of content to continue to put out for y'all. Today is a very special episode, ladies and gents. Today, we have a very important part of what has been going on with 7-7 Tree as of late. We have the architect of the analytics. We have the phenomenon of the backstage storylines. We have the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Dfence is on the podcast for the first time. Let's give it up for Dfence, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you,
Dfence, I appreciate you being here today, man. Go ahead if there's anything you want to say real quick to the people.
Hey, everybody. I'm just glad to be on the podcast. These guys got me back into wrestling at WrestleMania 40, and I'm fully marked out. And we've been watching wrestling the last 5-6 months, and I've been tuned into the podcast as a fan, and I'm just grateful to be on. It's my first ever podcast, so I'm grateful for this experience.
If you've been tapped in with the podcast, you've heard me mention Dfence in several episodes because this is the gentleman that I watch through Discord, which we will start acknowledging through the podcast. This is the man I'm watching with. And we've spoken about it. And as long as you're a true fan who can come in and enjoy with an open fucking mind, no ignorance, like tomfoolery, we enjoy a good time and all of that, but you know what it is. We have no problem removing people and blocking them. But if you want to come have a good time and talk wrestling and enjoy, because plenty of people from my job, plenty of people I come across just in passing, we talk wrestling, I let them know, and they want to know where the podcast can be found. 7 Tree is available wherever you pick up any of your podcasts. But Dfence is the man who helps me come up with concepts and ideas during the episode. Like, we'll just be watching and he'll drop gems on me and give me ideas. So this is my pleasure, sir, to have you here. I'm honored to be the first podcast for you. I apologize. But ladies and gentlemen and ladies, we are about to do something that I dreaded 2 weeks ago, but it must be done. We're reviewing WrestleMania 42, Night 1, a.k.a. the night that shall not be named. Just for a quick reference, me and Dfence agreed way in advance that we would do dual watch parties. And this is something that we've done at least 2, maybe 3 years, because my cousin was one of the catalysts for it. Andy Manek, shout out Andy.
Mm-hmm.
But I vowed that I would keep the tradition going regardless. And the host is to dress up and to provide refreshments. And, we do that shit real grown and sexy. And if you like wrestling, you're welcome to come and indulge.
Mm-hmm.
To speed up the story, I had Saturday night. I had this evening. I had this shit. So I laid it out in a fashion I thought was decent. We've had sides. I had fried chicken. Shut your fucking mouth, just in case you thinking what I think you thinking. I had nachos.
Homemade.
Rotel. It was homemade chicken. It was
It's the difference.
delicious. We had nachos. Rotel. I think I had ground beef. I can't remember. It was laid out. I had lemonade, 7-Ups, no Sprite, 7-Ups, root beer. We had alcoholic beverages. We had paper towels, paper cups. I was on my grown man shit. We got the pre-show going, I think, towards the end. Show get going. I'm not going to even, again, I do it every episode. I get ahead of myself. What I would like to say is this. Me and Dfence are going to review Night 1 of WrestleMania, the evening that we will not speak about anymore after tonight. For reference, this is approximately 2 weeks after reviewing. The goal was to review it the Monday and Tuesday after viewing, but due to circumstances out of our control, that shit forced us to not do anything with it for a long amount of hours. When I tell you we had it set up, we set it up. Some people took time off of work because they just knew it was going to be a wang bang doodle of a weekend. Anywho, I wasted enough time. Let's get into the episode. You ready, Dfence?
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
So, I guess I'll lead the proceedings. Wrestlemania 42, night 1. Opens with John Cena opening the show. Why is John Cena here? Because ticket sales were so trash, they had to break glass in case of emergency. He didn't want to do this shit. He just retired. When you first heard Cena was coming to WrestleMania weekend, Fence, what was your initial thoughts?
Desperation already, because fans who watch it weekly knows that tickets were overpriced already. Like in Chicago, we are at like the Elimination Chamber. Like tickets were unaffordable at that point. And it wasn't until afterwards with Austin 316 Day that they gave 31.6% off on tickets all the way until mid-June to get more ticket sales. And also the nastiness of the setups of WrestleMania, of them just putting a little bit out there to see if it get more ticket sales, and the Pat McAfee 25% off. Like, this just reeks desperation to where you made this man come out of retirement. He's not even in the Hall of Fame yet, and you called him out of retirement to host a show for ticket sales. It's just disgusting.
And we'll speak on the Hall of Fame situation of it all later on, but I agree with you 100%. The reference, break glass in case of emergency, that's what that was. TKO has taken full control of WWE, whether you know it or not, whether they say it or not, and they have blatantly and arrogantly stated that they're in control. And that the fact is they're not worried about the regular wrestling fan. They're now reaching out to individuals who enjoy Carly Rae, and Carly Rae will be making an appearance at WWE. It's all celebrity intertwined now. TKO has this fascination with collabing. Like, apparently managers that represent Pat McAfee are the ones who were pulling strings behind the scenes to get him into this whole angle that came out of nowhere. So the desperation is real. It sucks that they had to use Cena in this fashion. Anybody with two eyes can see this is what that was. And I wonder how much they paid him to get it done. I imagine the Rock movie type of money. 20 million easily. More than that?
May I add, they did all this desperation for them to make 10,000 less tickets than last year in the same venue, by the way. Just a note, all that desperation and you still couldn't even out to last year. What was it all for?
And it won't be a lesson learned. The one thing they did acknowledge was that it was they probably shouldn't have ran it back to back in Vegas. They were so adamant about doing it, but after the fact, they probably shouldn't have done it. No, you could have done it. You could have done it. You shouldn't have doubled and tripled ticket prices. You shouldn't have stopped sidebars from being able to air the WrestleMania PLE at their place, because you're trying to force individuals to go and pay for overpriced tickets. A couple of bucks here and there, 20, 30 bucks, 50 bucks. Okay. To double a ticket price, to triple a ticket price, on top of most likely having to take a flight to Las Vegas, is ridiculously inconsiderate. And then it's the responses that they have. But I feel like I'm losing my onto that. So, as well as this ties in, because things were going so bad with the ticket sales and getting eyes to the product, They also decided to put the first hour of WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 on ESPN and ESPN2 respectively. Why would you force people to sign up for applications, on top of applications, subscribe and pay $30-$40 a month for content most likely that they're not going to use fully? Like, if you're a wrestling fan, if you're a sports fanatic, by all means, that's your world. I get all my sports from regular sports channels, ESPN. I don't need the extra shit. I'm good with what I see. I get the games. I got NBA League Pass. I like basketball. The ESPN app, I don't need that. But if I want to watch PLEs, I got to have that. And I believe you have to have a certain tier of that shit to get the. It's too much. It's too much. And they're forcing your hands to do that. But that's what you have to do to watch the PLEs. Shit was so bad, they was like, yo, we're going to put the first hour on for free. Sounds good. Sounds real good. Dfence, let's review this episode. I would ask that you start this off.
So we start the show off with the Usos and LA Knight versus the Vision and iShow Speed. We end up getting reformed Usos entrance at this time because they could not figure it out for the last few weeks. I'm like, it's just me, it's just us, Go back to it's just me,
They
It's
did not
us,
know what to do. If I may, I remember being like, no, they have to give these upcoming cities the It's Just Me Us entrance. That's what they sign up for. Because months prior, it's like, oh, you come to the show for the Jey Uso entrance. That's what you're there for. Everyone's doing it.
But they're not there for the lyrics. They're there for the vibe. So it's like,
but
they just want to yeet.
It's Just Me Us on a tag team entrance is the most selfish shit I've ever seen in my life.
They kept
That's like
doing
a
that
tag
shit.
team coming out to Shawn Michaels, I'm just a sexy boy.
Bro, it's like, where's the other person? That's like Bailey coming out to Lyra's thing. And well, that's another topic. But so the Vision and iShow Speed. This is iShow Speed's debut match in the WWE. Note before, he has been training in the Performance Center for some months and whatnot, despite being on stream and whatnot. But he's a hell of an athlete and he's been practicing, and that's just prior information.
Yeah.
Leading into it. He has a decent attire. He got a cape and whatnot. Very Danhausen-ish to me. Kinda.
It was. I definitely picked up on that. I didn't want to say anything, but it might have been some last minute shit.
It could have been. I mean, it's his colors of like his brand and whatnot.
Now, you know what I did notice? On LA Knight's entrance, he pulled up in the Ram truck. Originally, I thought it was trolling, but that's how deep UWE advertising is now going.
Yes.
Between Pat McAfee and Randy Orton pulling up and pulling off in one, and acknowledging the fact that they are, and Knight pulling up in the same joint, just with the covery over it. I'm like, yo, they got it. This is too fucking much, man. Sorry for cussing so much, but not really. I told y'all, this is a new format. Check in. Anyway, please, brother, continue.
Yeah, with LA Knight and Speed, they're in a tag team match because Speed accidentally got cursed, and then somehow it seemed like he was helping the Vision, and he had brass knuckles hit LA Knight, and then that led to the beef. But I call it Operation Keep LA Knight on the bill. But yeah, big fan. Yeah. But yeah, we start the match with Speed and LA Knight. Speed starts with a headlock. It's pretty good offense, really focusing on Speed's performance. Everything else seemed like a standard match for the most part, but good, like headlock. But LA Knight just stands up like, what is this little guy doing?
Yeah.
And Speed ended up getting a reversal backflip and then just do a high backflip without reading, showing his novice by just doing the move. And I thought that was pretty brilliant to show his athleticism on a bigger scale. But you could continue forward with the match if you want, or you want to go through the match.
Well, the one thing I wanted to acknowledge was This being the free hour of WrestleMania, the hour that was on ESPN. I won't say free, but available to those who had
Yeah.
ESPN.
Yeah.
It was a very smart move for them to put this match on. The
Mhm.
whole goal of doing the free hour is drawing more eyes to the product and trying to convince them to purchase if they haven't. So to put Speed on with all of his followers, you always think big. That's why Speed is involved. That's why he's been involved since last year. Speed has one of the highest count of followers in the world. If they
Mhm.
can get half of those followers to come over to WWE, that's numbers and money for them. That's why this
Mhm.
move is happening. Just so happens him and Logan Paul are good. They're athletic.
Yeah.
Will Speed be returning? For sure. I'm sure of it. Maybe not like Logan is, but who knows? Because if they
He's
could draw
young.
up a deal, he's athletic enough, he's young enough, he's willing to learn, and he already has an audience that he could draw with him.
Mhm.
But during this match, it seemed that Jey Uso was going to get his yeet spots in, which he did. He got his punches. He got his pop
Mhm.
locking punch that he stole from The Rock. Speed's offense was definitely on display, but it was nothing major. He'll hit a move
Mhm.
here, he'll get a flex. He got his backflip in. Sidebar, we did WrestleMania bingo cards the first night. Throughout the episode, you would understand why things got convoluted during all of what took place. We had the bingo cards, we had the food, we had the extracurriculums, party favors popping in the background. We were good to go. But again, circumstances derailed all prior plans. The one thing I wanted to say about this match, I noticed that Logan and Theory kept treating Speed. They kept like little brothering him in the most
Mhm.
disrespectful ways.
Mhm.
So being the production team that we are, that was picked up on instantly.
Mhm.
At one point, Speed threw Logan Paul, or he threw, was it Jey Uso or somebody into Logan Paul?
Austin Theory, I think. Yeah, Austin Theory.
He threw Austin Theory into Logan Paul?
Yeah, he was on the apron.
Apron.
Logan Paul. Yeah, it was Austin Theory.
He threw LA Knight into Logan Paul, knocked Paul off the apron. Theory got mad, grabbed Knight in a headlock. He wanted
Mhm.
Speed to bounce off the ropes to get a move going. He was hesitant. In doing so, LA Knight gets the reversal in,
Yeah.
hits the BFT on Theory. And was that a victory after that, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah. After speed bumped, yeah, and then it was an instant win.
So they pulled the old partner interference maneuver, but they attacked Speed after the match. Or shall I say Logan attacked Speed,
Mhm.
which sucks because in real life, and I do that ignorantly, they're friends. But he attacked Speed because he ruined his WrestleMania moment. He ruined Theory's WrestleMania moment. Logan goes to set Speed up on the table and he's going for the Paul from Grace. He climbs up to the top turnbuckle, jumps over, lands on them on the announce table. Luckily, the Usos come in and they stop all of that from happening. They go to hit a 1D on Logan, and I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the fact that they did not connect on that finish. Like Jimmy was nowhere near that cutter when he came down. He did not grab Logan. Shout out to the cameraman because he was on his shit this evening.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
hit the
yeah, he did.
pause. The angles was perfect. He was where he was supposed to be, and they were cutting when they needed to cut. Retrospectively, it also could be edits after the fact because we did watch this later on the rewatch. Like, and just for notes, watching in real time was heartbreaking. That's why it took this long to get this shit going. It was, if you watched the day of, it was very confusing. But the Usos hit the 1D on Logan, and then they go get Speed, or Knight gets Speed, brings him back to life, gets him in the ring. Like, yo, get your get back on this fool, man. They've been treating your
Mhm.
ass all week, and they go ahead. They hype him up. They pump him up. Speed get to the top rope. Speed step on top of the turn post. The crowd with the angle the drone hit and the cameraman, that was cinematic. Then my man Speed pardon me. My man Speed leaps from the top turn post,
He
hits
commands a sui first.
turns. Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah,
whatever
the
that is.
sui before. That's a soccer thing. That's a huge thing with
Okay.
speed.
And
He
I know he
commanded the
was,
audience. Everybody did it to her. I'm like,
and
that
they
was,
did it.
yeah.
Hits the big dive splash, turns in midair, which is difficult in itself. Lands it perfectly, breaks the announcer's table, gets back on Paul. They get my man Speed up, get him back in the ring. Congratulations. You survived. You've had a WrestleMania moment. The
Hmm.
the first half of the first free hour, in all honesty, was successful.
Yeah,
It did
that
what
was
it was
fun.
supposed to do. Yeah, for sure. If I was watching that, whether I was a fan or I was just a speed guy or I was a Logan Paul dude, that shit's going to make me sit to see what happens next, which is
I
where we're going. What's up? What you got?
also want to note with the speed thing, you also got to remember he's cursed by Danhausen. That's why these bad things have been happening. And that's why he didn't even want to be in the tag team. They're like, no, we got you. Thanks for helping us. He's like, no, no, I don't want to. And the Usos forced him up, like, no, you going to do this. I'm like, come on, stop making me do this to my friends
But see,
because he's cursed.
I remember that angle, but when he did the training montage, I did away with it because I'm like, oh, now you're pumped up. Now you're ready to do this shit. And then when he started the match, he was going at LA Knight. So I'm like, oh, he's not thinking about it. It wasn't until Logan and him interacted and I noticed, like, oh, he's still punking him. But it didn't register. I seen it, but it didn't register.
Hmm.
So I guess, yeah, they could have been
Yeah.
continuing with that one.
Yeah, it's the curse. He's not even supposed to be involved, and he just unfortunate. If you see Speed's facial reaction, he's like, "What? I don't want to. Please, like, come on. I don't want to." He's forced in it. It's funny.
It was.
Shout out to the Knicks.
Afterwards, they all get in the ring. Jey Uso runs it back. Hit him with the kick, fool.
Yeah.
He run to the turnbuckle. They yeeting. Successful start to the WrestleMania for the most
Hmm.
part.
Yeah,
Match two.
and
What?
I'd also say to go into this like night one watching it. That's why it's good that we're a couple weeks out because this was not gonna be the same. So I'm like, we actually found a little bit more enjoyment in the second watch without our emotions. So I'm like, it'll probably seem a little different than everybody else's take, but I'm like, we love this thing. So let's give it the points it deserves.
Because
Benefit
in
of the
real
doubt.
time, it would have hit different, and we would have had to do a rewatch.
Hmm.
Excuse me, and do a re-review because you're right. I feel different about it now. It was a better, it was an easier watch this time.
Hmm.
I think the expectations were astronomical and we
Shouldn't
were
have been.
let down tremendously.
Should not have been a big expectation. It felt as though it didn't matter if you paid attention to the storylines leading to it. It was just gonna be whatever. It felt like I don't know, like we need to hard finish. This is the finish. Just hurry up and get to it. Like every match, like just rushing along. I'm like, don't y'all got the venue for the next day? Why are we rushing?
Yeah. That part was definitely like shocking to the system originally. But again, maybe we were just moving at a faster pace because on a rewatch, all the matches didn't seem that fast.
Yeah, yeah.
For instance, the second match was Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre in the unsanctioned match, which,
Hmm.
for clarification, is a no holds barred match, which, for clarifications, is a weapons match, which, for clarification, is a what else? What else is it?
It's like pretty much the ref is only there to count the
Count the
pin or
pin.
submission. That's it.
Yeah.
It's free range. Backstage brawl, whatever.
No count out, no interference,
No
all
DQ.
things. Yeah, everything goes. On the first watch, was not happy with this match. Was not happy at all. Unsanctioned means scrappy, means gory, means like blood, means in the audience, mean through the audience, mean maybe through the stage area. Give me something. Unsanctioned is some shit that's not just always seen in the ring.
No loss. No loss.
Everything
Yeah.
is free range.
And also shout out to Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at the Elimination Chamber last year, which was unsanctioned. That's how you do it.
Yes, yes. Some shit means things, man. This match, this was a hardcore match. That's what unsanctioned means.
Yeah.
Hardcore match. This is what that was. Unsanctioned is different from hardcore. This was an hardcore match. I mean, briefly, it was a great entrance for both wrestlers. Fatu came out with a sick vest with the werewolf on the back. Drew came out with the big sword or the saber. I don't know what you call it.
Claymore.
The Claymore?
That's the name of the sword. It's a Claymore.
Crazy.
All right.
You learn something new every day.
Mm-hmm.
These two, in my opinion, work really well together. The dynamic, I don't know, you would call Fatu a heavyweight. I don't know about a powerhouse, but Drew's definitely a heavyweight
Like a
or
bruiser.
maybe a giant bruiser.
Yeah, probably bruisers or fighters by 2K26 standards.
Fighter. I can see that for sure. I
Mhm.
liked their interaction in the ring together.
Mhm.
They are both workers. Drew, and I don't know why most people are surprised by the fact that big guys could sell, but Drew's good when he's selling. He's turned out to be one of the staples, one of the pillars of WWE. He's very dependable. He's rarely injured. Even if he is, he can still cut promos for you. He was a champion during the goddamn pandemic era. And I continue to announce the fact that him having these short title runs will and have to lead into something. This match, again, my expectations were higher. So on the rewatch, it was a good match. It was good action, not a lot of unsanctioned tomfoolery, a lot of weapons, a lot of toolbox shenanigans. Like, what was your
Toolbox
thoughts about this
edging.
match? Yeah.
The red toolbox edging. Remember this from Bad Blood with CM Punk and Drew? The red toolbox? Oh, it wasn't really a key factor there because Jacob picked it up at one point, then got Claymore in the face, and that was out of there. So I'm like, nobody uses no damn red toolbox from what I remember as like a pulling out under the ring thing. And also like with the what is it, a socket wrench or whatever Drew put in Jacob's eyes or
The
forehead,
wrench.
that should
Yeah.
have it should have
Drew
caused
blood.
blood,
Yeah.
and none. Where I'm like, this is unsanctioned, like the match where you can go all out and it's no blood, but Randy and Cody, I'm getting ahead of myself, but they
This
have a
was
lot of blood.
This was spots and toolbox weapons. Fatu hit a very nice pop-up Samoan drop.
Mm-hmm.
He hit his moonsault, but he only got the two. Like Fence was saying, Drew pulled up with the wrench. He hit Jacob with the wrench, no blood. He dug the wrench into Jacob's face, supposedly his eye, no blood, no damage. And we know, like, apparently WWE still PG, but they're not going for blood in more than 2 matches. They don't want that. If it happens, it's been signed off for. And and it's always the heavies. Cody, Punk, Randy, they get carte blanche. Like everybody else, it's probably gonna be a no. It's one blood a show. But they also had the spot where they were whipping each other with the belt, which
Jacob whipping Drew with the
yeah,
filth.
Drew pulled the belt off the referee, but he fumbled it, and Jacob got it, and like a stubborn mule was get back outside like I told you. One hand cracking that joint. They set up a couple of tables. Again, most of this action was in or around the ring. Immediately in or around the ring. No crowd action. They set up a couple of tables. At one point, Fatu got Drew on a table and he was going for his moonsault. Drew countered it, got up, pushed Fatu off the top rope to the outside. Fatu went through a table. That was a good
Beautifully,
spot.
may I add. He's like kind of flipped, like turned and contorted, flipped. I was like, that was a great sell to that table.
One of the best things about Fatu is for him to be the size that he is. He is very agile. He is extremely athletic. The guy can move.
And also a note, I'm sorry, a note as well of agility and whatnot. I have a note of when Drew McIntyre dove above the fucking top rope outside on Jacob. I was like, what the hell?
I remember that. Yeah. Drew
That's
pulls that out.
insane.
He pulls that out like every 3 PLEs, and it depends on who
Dog.
he's wrestling. He has to trust the individual.
Mhm.
They have to be a bigger person, and he has to trust them. That's why I was like, they work well together.
Mhm.
I remember that after that spot, Jacob and Drew, they get back into the ring, but Fatu gets the rebound. He ends up getting Drew onto a table that was inside of the ring. Fatu hits his moonsault, picks up the 1, 2, 3. Wasn't a very long match. What was it? Maybe 12 minutes? No,
Yeah.
longer than that.
I think it was
15
about
minutes.
ish, yeah.
Disappointed the first go round. On the rewatch, was able to appreciate what they did and wasn't looking at it with expectated eyes. Much better match. I guess, what would you rank if you got 5 stars? What are you giving the first match, the 6-man tag? Usos and LA Knight versus Division with Speed. Scale of 1 to 5. We'll say 1 to 5 shots. How many shots you giving that first match?
You said 1 to 5?
Yeah. 5 being hella good. I'm taking 5 shots. It was trash. 0 shots.
I'm gonna grade this from not a personal thing, then I'm gonna grade it for what its intention was and did it do that, which was have fun, open up with Speed and the younger crowd and whatnot to where they're tuned in to watch the rest of the show and it's fun. I feel like it did its job. I give it a 8 out of 10 of doing its job and bringing people in, and it's a nice, fun opener to WrestleMania.
Respect that. I can respect that. Now, I can agree as well. I would say 8, 8.5. Seeing as what it was for,
Mhm.
it was a very smart and strategic move, and it definitely did what it was supposed to do. To start
Mhm.
off WrestleMania weekend, that's a very smart, very strategic move. Do not
Mhm.
disagree with you. What about what about the second match? Fatu versus Drew. How do you feel about that? What do you rank it 1 to 10?
Using the same judgment and also considering Drew is supposed to be going off to film Highlander and whatnot. And the fact that he still did this match and they like pretty much protected him. Roman Reigns wouldn't be doing this. Cody wasn't doing this during Street Fighter, doing these type of matches of like protected, like no way you're taking bumps like that. And he's still doing it and put over Jacob Fatu, like you mentioned, of Drew being the guy and elevates other people that's around him. Like that's what he did. He pushed Jacob to the ethos of the main event by Jacob conquering him, and he made him look strong because Drew is a warrior and he's violent. Or like you take out a violent dude with a violent dude, it's like, nah, you got my respect. You got it.
Definitely.
And on that note, of that is a factor, it would have been lower points if it wasn't for like protecting Drew and him risking that before filming. I give it a 7 out of 10, mostly because the unsanctioned didn't do its full thing, really. That's my main issue with the match is they didn't go all out, but it's because he's filming that they can't. But I'm like, you could have just
Now,
made it no DQ or something.
I did hear that Drew had been recording or filming the entire time. He's been taking chartered flights. He's been taking private flights back and forth. I don't know
Mm.
how true those claims are. The only thing we can do is sit back and wait to see if he pops up in 2 or 3 weeks because I heard those exact same stories, but then I want to say maybe like 3 or 4 days before WrestleMania weekend, maybe that Monday before Raw, I heard claims that he had been already filming and going back and forth. So I
Mhm.
don't know what's what, but if we see him in a couple of weeks, 2, 3 weeks, I feel like maybe they're both true.
Mhm.
But that'll be the first part of this shindig. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna pick up, continuing on with night 1 from WrestleMania 42. We're gonna go into the women's 4-way tag team title match. We're gonna show you how that broke down. We're gonna show you what happened in that match briefly. We gotta talk about the Seth Rollins versus Gunther match. Hang tight, Dfence and myself. We'll be right back. Yes, sir. And we're back. Appreciate y'all for staying tuned in with us. We want to welcome you back to the podcast 773. We are currently reviewing WrestleMania 42, Night 1, aka the night that we shall not speak about anymore after today. To move on forward with the episode, the next match we have is now strictly a PLE. Like the first couple of matches, the first segment, the first two wrestling bouts were free. They were on ESPN. It was used to draw eyes to the product in hopes that people would be enthralled. My apologies. They would be enthralled and want to purchase said PLE, which is signing up through ESPN and then doing some shit with it. It's a whole thing. Anyway, we now get into the meat of the matter. First match on the official PLE is the women's four-way tag team title competition. In this match, we have Charlotte Flair and Miss Bliss. They are taking on Bayley and Lyra, as well as Lash Legend and Nia Jax, who are the women's tag team champions. The fourth team was Nikki and Brie Bella, but during a match a couple of weeks back, Nikki injured her ankle and was unable to continue on. So they went and found themselves a replacement who turned out to be a returning Paige. That's right. Saraya, who was formerly in AEW, has returned home to WWE as Paige once again. She will be taking the place of Nikki Bella in this bout. Fence, what were your thoughts when because I believe we spoke about Nikki's ankle injury. What bring me back to your thoughts when you first heard about it?
When they announced it officially and showed the playback to a Friday night SmackDown from like a week and a half before of when it happened, I'm like, oh, okay. However, they wrestled on that following Monday Night Raw, and there was nothing wrong with their ankle. And then they said it was an injury, where it makes me think they were in talks with Paige already, and they put Nikki on ice for that to be a slot for those ticket sales we've been talking about. Because why was it in the dirt notes that Friday of Paige possibly that she resigned? How did that get out like right before WrestleMania? Because that was to get more tickets in for people to go to night one for the excitement. It's just disgusting what TKO does. I'm like, that was a blatant sign of it.
I remember before I found out about the change in partners with the Bellas, assuming that Bayley and Lyra were leaving WrestleMania with those tag titles because the build up leading to. They had been showing them every week on television for like the past 3 months. We'll never mind the character arc that they were doing with Bayley and dropping and bringing back and dropping. Never mind that. They began to work as a great cohesive team. They were building them up. They cut a promo the Raw before Mania that would lead you to believe they were on their way to winning. It was a strong babyface promo. I thought they were going to win. When they announced, and yes, I knew Paige was returning before they actually did it on the show. When she came out, and acknowledgement to the pop, bigger pop than the Bellas got, I believe, when they returned, I knew Paige was winning that belt. Historically, Paige won the Divas Championship the first night on Raw or some
Yeah,
shit
her
like that.
debut of her call up.
Yeah, so I knew they were going to redo history to make noise. The first hour of the PLE was to get people into it. That's why I said the official start, because now you got to pay for it. They had to do something. It couldn't just be a regular match. You had to, we pay for this. You got to give us something too. So it's like, yeah, on the first hour, this happened and this happened. But yeah, but soon as the second hour started, Paige came back. That's big deal for some people. It's big news for others, whatever the case is. I knew what that was. I wasn't that impressed. The actual match, and again, they've been building up to this for about 2 months. So we've seen Alexa versus Lyra in different formations. We've seen Nia versus Charlotte and Bliss in different formations. We've seen the Bellas versus Charlotte. It's been going on for months. There was nothing special. in first watching this.
Searching for those wrestling matchups, I found some results including Battle of the Sexes, the Golden Compass.
My apologies. In the first watching of the match, I noticed they were extremely short. Do you have a time for how long this match actually went, Fence?
I believe it was about 8 or 9 minutes. I
You are
distinctly remember
effing shitting me.
because it was a minute per wrestler that was in the match. That's how I remembered that.
You're right. Because their spots were going so fast. I remember thinking like, and this is also, it needs to be stated, me and Dfence were standing up again Saturday night at my place. I'm hosting. We're standing up watching in front of the TV, and we continue to repeat the phrases, "What the fuck is this? What is going on?" We said that for the first 4 matches. I was so confused. And he is absolutely right, because the women were hitting their spots one after another extremely fast, and Paige got the hot tag.
Mm-hmm.
And little bitty Paige, Charlotte, Bliss, the only people I give any leeway to is Bailey and Lyra, because they're actually sturdy and they're strong. Ain't nobody else messing with Nia and Lash Legend. Paige came in and did work. Now, I will acknowledge she had to hit Lash Legend with like 8 or 9 knee shots to get her down on the outside of the ring. Maybe that works, but the victory came when Paige rolled up Nia Jax. Was that it?
No, Alexa Bliss, because Charlotte got on the outside and Nikki hit her with the crutch, which actually hurt Charlotte. She went, "Oh shit," audibly. She like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, so it was a 3-on-2 between them two. But yeah, it was a sit down roll up that I was. Am I remember that
She
correctly?
did a backflip. Well, she went for her like finisher or whatever, and then Paige put her knees up late, which Alexa just hit the mat, and then she went for her finisher after that, and then the Paige
The
turner.
Rampage. I wrote that down. My apologies, team. Let me read this. Paige got the hot tag and takes over. Rampage on Bliss for the win. And new tag champions. Brie Bella, the returning Brie Bella, and the returning Paige are your new women's tag team champions. Dfence, I see you rubbing your head. Please expand. Go ahead and speak your truth. Do your thing.
So let me just say, I love women's wrestling, of like the effort that these women have been putting in, and especially people like Bailey that I adore and beloved. But lady, please, you need to get some dubs under your belt and stop being so nice and kind. Like, you do that outside your prime. You're still in your prime. And I love Lyra. That's my goat. Where like I'm upset because the weeks before, like they've been building them to win this, like after matches, promos right after, and then later in the night promos. Bailey beat Charlotte or Alexa, and then the next week Lyra beats her one-on-one. Like, it was leading up to it, and it seemed as though they were waiting for the Page signing. That's why Nikki faked her fucking ankle injury, and they did it more so on the Hall of Fame thing. They still sold the ankle injury, like, we're still gonna be there tomorrow. I know I got this brace, but I will never leave Brie.
I just wanted to interject this one point, and then you can please continue. She was not using that crutch correctly, and I noticed that the entire time. She had it on the wrong arm. You use the crutch on the foot that's hurt, because you're using it as an extra leg. She continued to use it on the opposite arm. And that led me to believe that you might be absolutely right about the fake injury. Because originally, it was just a quick sprain, a little tweak of the ankle. You should be fine. I should be fine.
Yeah, tomorrow I should be fine on the red carpet. She's like, no, I'd never leave Brie. I'm like, no, you guys were waiting for that to be the pop. And I'm like, there's no way. And her ankle's not that injured. Where I'm like, so all that for a pop for Paige, and Bailey and Lyra has to take the L on this once again, where you force my hand to go, I don't care about them competing as a tag team at all anymore.
It's not only the pop for Paige, it's the return for Paige.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big deal. Like, they tried to give you tidbits to draw you in, just in case you were thinking about it and you didn't watch night one. This is what happened on night one. So night two must be, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Something
my thinking on it.
interesting may happen tomorrow.
So that's how we close that out. A very short match to have 8 women wrestling on a WrestleMania show.
And lose the champions, the most beefy giants people lose to Stream Beans.
I love that tag team of Nash. I say it every fucking time. Of Lash, Legend,
Nash
and
Legend.
Nia. Yeah.
I like it.
Like,
That's a tag team name. Nash, Nia, Lash.
Nia and Lash. But yeah, I don't know where they go with that. I would love to see Lash and Nia continue to work together, maybe get another run.
Mm-hmm.
But originally, I assumed they put them together. Nia's the vet, give Lash a rub. You could break that tag team up later, but not now. Like, they're the irresistible force. They just got the fucking Titantron like a month and a half ago. Don't be petty. Don't
It's
take
the
it away.
Bianca and Jade thing of apprenticeship. Just stick with me. We become tag team champions. I give you a showing and you get the fucking moves in and whatnot so you can
Yeah.
be on your own. That's the same thing. It works.
And they should deal with it. Let Jade be an example. Don't rush it. There's no need.
Shout out Black
Lash is-
women.
Yo, facts, man. The African American squads are taking over wrestling, and you can't deny that shit. I know we had the whole thing last year about Triple H and his shenanigans. Let me just also state and let it be noted, there's a lot of African Americans being pushed over the past year. You could look it up for yourself, but I'll just say Javon Evans, Obafemi, Trick Williams, Lash Legend. Those are newbies. But let us continue on. The next match that we get is Becky Lynch challenging the phenomenal AJ Lee for the Women's IC title. Becky comes out with the live band. Now, I'm not a fan of Becky's intro, so I don't know it, but I will say that her entrance to WrestleMania was very lit. She had the live band playing her out. Her and Dude was vibing on the intro. She came out with the big Seth Rollins former dressing style with the big furs and shit. I'm rocking with it. For her character, Becky don't miss, bro. And I say that a lot for wrestlers. Shout out to Mello. But whatever her character is, like, people fail to realize, she's been over since the broken nose, and they tried to turn her bad, and she was kind of like the start of that, oh no, we're cheering for the bad guy again. Stone Cold was like the NWO was the start for, you know what I'm saying? They caught on first. Stone Cold was right after that. That was the era of rooting for the bad guy, not the underdog, the bad guy. I'm talking my shit. I'm drinking my beer. We spray painting people like we on dummy time, but this is cool right now because what's the alternative? A motherfucker in a clown outfit. A nigga pretending to be a nigga that got released. Do we remember the Diesel and fake Razor shit? I remember being like, yo, and those are two, at the time, they were two of the 4 of my favorite. Unbeknownst to myself at the time, all 4 of my favorite wrestlers were members of the Clique. I liked all 4 of them. I'm talking about Hunter Hearst Helmsley with that move. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. So when I seen that fake Razor, like, being a child, that shit, it didn't make sense. I knew it wasn't them. I knew I saw Razor Ramon in the fucking crowd with the jean vest, with the tuxedo joint, the jean tuxedo. Anyway, AJ Lee comes out. And AJ Lee gets the John Cena treatment with the intro. She comes out with like 37 girls dressed like her, and they all had IC titles. I wonder if they got to keep them. I'm thinking they probably did. Like, that's like a souvenir, which is lit. On the rewatch, I noticed that and was like, huh, that is freaking awesome. Like, I'm a sucker for kids. I am a girl dad, so those parts always melt my butter. Like, I can't deny that part. So this was wholesome for me. Also, noted when I seen it, I'm like, no way she loses. She comes out with a team of kids. Even when she finally arrives holding the other girl's hands, in the background, the one little girl was so shy and nervous, she didn't come out. She ran across. I just imagine she's running over to her mom because she was too scared. I'm like, oh, again, This is all TKO weak ass shit though. Like they took over. Like remember, they took control of storylines after the fact. When ticket sales weren't moving, they hit the panic button. So things had to make sense for them to be like, okay, yeah, of course, bring a bunch of kids out. ESPN is Disney. Don't forget that part. Don't forget that part. Yeah, it's WrestleMania weekend, but we're going to show you a bunch of athletes and ESPN anchors and commentators that's on our shows that have nothing to do. They showed that motherfucker Kettle, the tight end.
George Kittle,
They showed him all goddamn weekend. They showed him all weekend. I saw streamers that I follow religiously post video footage of them being at WrestleMania weekend, and I know they don't watch wrestling. Like, no shade, none at all. Just putting that shit out there. Anyway, Fence, I would ask that you give me your thoughts of this match, and if you'd be so kind to run down.
My thoughts on this match, going into it, this is where I started to not like watch it as a viewer, where the first three matches is like it went so short, it took me out of the match quite a bit because I'm like, what's going on right now? Like 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, what? I'm like, oh, I really couldn't like pay attention. I'm like, to be honest, it's the same as their Elimination Chamber match, but it's more Jessica Carr antics because she's part of the story and the aggression of that. It was decent, but also I'm like, a lot of it, Becky was calling out things to AJ is too many steps behind in the modern era, I feel, where if you know, well, that's later, but she's taken a step away, but this is too much for her to do. Like, this isn't the realm for her. This was just an attraction by TKO that got CM Punky to get his wife to come back when she wasn't ready.
Guarantee, if I may, and I'll let you finish. Guarantee that was part of Punk's contract. Like something about that had Lee coming back because she didn't want to do this shit. They had to figure it out. Maybe not part of his contract, but he had hands in making sure everything worked out the way it needed to work out. Because as he stated, she will be stepping away sooner than later. Please, my brother, continue.
And also going into the point of like, you feel like it's part of Punk's contract. I feel the same. I feel like she has like a specific amount of like showings like that she has in the contract that they're using it specifically. Like I'm only doing like 10 appearances or 15. However you manage that, that's my limit. And that's part of the contract. Because Punk wouldn't want her to come back to this and his bullshit. And she got book signings and doing other stuff, her mental health. This isn't right for her. So for her to come back on is like, it's not full time, which they're marketing us that she is. And she like, I never said that, but we don't know the contracts. But for her to be able to leave again after the contract release and whatnot, like this is supposed to be a full timer, you say, that's on the payroll.
I just want to interject quickly. Let it be known by no mistake, Punk is the new Triple H. He's the new Hunter Hearst Helmsley that is in the authority when Triple H wore the suits, except for Punk has his t-shirts and the belt. Punk is not going to be wrestling long. He's going to take over NXT because Shawn Michaels didn't even want to run it. Triple H had to convince him. Shawn's good at it. He don't want to do it.
Now he does.
Punk does. Punk wants it. Shawn will step away. He has no problem stepping away because he has a young family that he everything that Shawn missed, he needs to try to do now, and I respect that. I can see him. I wouldn't want him to. No. I wouldn't want him to, but I could see him stepping away. But I wanted to just say that part about Punk. Like, Punk is not the same Punk we all wished for. Unless he turns heel before this year is up, that shit ain't gonna be worth nothing. Because time is of the essence. Everything has to happen at a particular time. Like the light, the angles, the sun got to be at a certain position in the sky. Shit has to line up. You wait too long, that shit don't matter. Now the thing is, Triple H likes to tell long stories. TKO ain't got time for that shit. We need the numbers to hit what we said. The projections The bottom line, that's what matters. And at the end of the day, they're going to figure out revenue. They lower ticket prices at WrestleMania. How do you think they make that money up? Now,
It's baby Hulk Hogan, baby.
now,
Hulk
my brother,
Hogan
please,
documentary.
please, the match review. Go ahead, do your thing. I just had to get that part out about Punk.
Yeah, I mean, I fucking hate CM Punk. You'll hear it here. Like anywhere it is, he's not from Chicago. He's from Home Glen, Illinois, just so y'all know.
Night 2 is going to be vicious.
Yeah. I mean, not as much. Watching it back, I'm like, Punk got a lot of respect out of me. Like, high key. I respect him as a performer. It's just certain aspects where it's like, dude, you doing too much.
We're going to have to clip this.
I am not a full-on hater just for the sake of it. I'm like, it's certain things he do that people don't like hold him to. I'm like, hey, no, I want to believe in you, but you keep punching me in the face when nobody's looking and I can't tell anybody. That's my issue with Punk. But I feel like the match was decent. The whole, you believe that she came out with the kids like, yeah, she got this. I'm like, no, that John Cena WrestlePalooza thing, we're in a new era. It's like, you bring the kids out, we're about to crush these kids' dreams right in front of them. You love AJ? She's about to get pinned and lose that belt.
I didn't think that part, but you were absolutely right. In retrospect, absolutely effing right. And that's my ignorance. I'm like, no way you bring out a fleet of fucking children with matching fitting belts and you let her lose. No, you don't break them children's heart like that. I'm sorry. Triple H is writing this shit. And TKO loves the idea of having the children. As long as the children are here, whatever. Yeah. That's how that went. And when I realized it afterwards, I'm like, F you, man. I'm a girl dad. That's fucking bogus. Sorry for cussing.
But we already knew Becky was coming back for that title because Mrs. I'm a fighting champion and only wrestles Bayley. Like, we knew she wasn't for real.
But this is why I love wrestling when it's good. I initially knew Becky has to leave WrestleMania with the belt. When she came out with the children, it convinced me otherwise. As the match progressed, and you will get into it, I remembered what I originally thought.
I mean, again, for the most part, I was taken out of it to like, oh, this move here is just Elimination Chamber again for the most part, and more antics with Jessica Carr, the ref, because she's part of the storyline and certain aspects of that happening. But for me, I'm like, well, Becky's already getting it because I don't see AJ being here. She hasn't shown that she wants to be here and a champion, and she's just holding the title. Becky's getting this back. I don't know how the outcome's going to be, but based off the fast times of the other matches, I was just like, all right, we can wrap this one up too at a point.
Yeah. I mean, how long do you think it went? Nothing fancy for sure.
It was like 8 minutes, I think, like 8 or 9 minutes.
By this time, in real life, me and Fence were extremely upset because now we're realizing what they're doing. They put the first hour on for free. That's why it was a shit start to the show. And then we couldn't even appreciate and acknowledge what was happening with the 4-women tag because all we could think about was, yo, that match was short as shit too.
Yeah.
And after just watching that, now we're like, yo, what the F?
Yeah.
What's going on? I repeated that phrase so much that evening. The next day when I remembered that I kept saying it, I was disgusted.
Even at a point too, like it got to a point where we were talking negatively, like, you know what? I don't want to talk shit on this. Like, I'm still trying to have a good time, but I'm like, no, bro, like, look what's happening. You're like, yeah, you're right. This is fucked up. You were trying to hold on for them. That's the benefit of the doubt. That's the love for this that we have to. It's like, even if I'm delusional, like, well, maybe we will still do that for this company.
Damn near Stockholm syndrome.
That's why it hurts this night, how it played out. It's like, I'm willing to do that for you, and you're willing to go, well, you could just pay twice as much for that ticket to come see us.
Y'all don't know how important it was for us to take that pause in between recording the review. Otherwise, it would have been hate speech. It would have been bad.
No.
So, yeah, finish it up, Brody.
Again, we end on the Jessica Carr finish of Becky pulling her in front of her when AJ attacked her at the turnbuckle. That opened it up. for Becky to seal the deal. Got the belt back, and also a note of it was lip syncing of the band at the beginning of. I would question. I'm like, is it? I'm like, does it sound like
Was
it's
it?
off? And then it caught on, and other people were talking about it. It was like, yeah, it was lip sync. I'm like, okay, I wasn't tweaking on that. I'm like, it didn't seem like he was actually singing. It sounded recorded.
Huh. I didn't peep
Yeah.
that. I thought it was on point.
It was already prior recorded, but him like lip syncing was off to like what he was doing. It's like, yeah, nah. But it was whatever. It was one of those, yeah, Becky's getting it back. All right, how we go through with it.
All right. So the 4-women tag team or the 4-way women's tag team titles match. Scale of 1 to 10. 0 shots being nah, this shit weak. 10 shots being like, yeah, line me up. How many shots you giving it?
Give it a 4 out of 10.
And may I ask the reasoning? I do not disagree. I just would like to know what's your
Because
reasoning.
we had all those people there, the bodies, for a longer match, and it was rushed as if it was a singles match, like a decent singles match with that time. And with 8 people and juggernauts like Nia and Lash Legend, and them to be kicked out or whatever, not finish her move to keep them outside of the pin for so long, doesn't add up. Just read off to me, it was just for Paige to come back and put a belt on her. I'm like, this was a Fugazi match. This was supposed to be Lyra and Bayley's, truly.
I would give it a 5, only because I'm partial to Nia and Lash, but I feel the exact same way. Originally, I assumed, like I said, Bayley and Lyra were leaving with those titles. When I saw the swerve with Paige, I knew what it was because it's history. It's a big deal. It was the start, air quotes, for the PLE. It's a big swerve. Even if you didn't purchase right away, if you hear that happen, might, you know what I'm saying? Everything is a money move. So I agree with you. The Becky versus AJ Lee match for the women's IC title match. Scale of 1 to 10, what you thinking?
I give it a 7.5 out of 10 because I'm like, I enjoyed the match from Elimination Chamber only because her matches before, she was AJ, she was rusty, and she seemed more refined, like a little better to her. I'm like, okay, I can just follow this dance less than like Becky's like controlling it, even though Becky was still at some points, but it was more fluid. Where I'm like, I enjoy this match, but it could only be what it was and nothing more. And that's kind of the issue for me.
I agree. I knew Becky was leaving with the title. Those two work well together. Becky is goated. We don't put enough respect on her name in the women. Like, we acknowledge her as the man, but take time to think about the character work that she's been doing. And I've said this in previous recordings, she's doing like a female Trump type of deal, and she's constantly acknowledging her accomplishments that other people have stated, regardless of how long ago they were said. But also, it's the fact that she carries matches. They placed her with AJ Lee, and that's a safe win. Becky can hold a match down. It's like putting someone in the ring with Rhea Ripley. If they're not on top of their shit, Rhea can, whatever needs to happen, Rhea got it, and we don't got to check on it. So I agree also. I hope they come back to revisit this, but I don't need AJ sticking around. Respectfully, it's 1-1, break the tie. You know what I'm saying? You could do it at Survivor Series, maybe SummerSlam.
Or bring her back for when Roxanne's getting her push right now, to where like when Roxanne gets some gold, like that's full circle. That would be a great opportunity.
That's a storyline. That's some shit you put 3-4 months into, because they don't show all them pictures and throwback shits for nothing about that, bro. And they've taken recent joints. Tie me in.
Yeah.
This is why I rock with my boy. This is why I fucks with my mans, because he comes up with production ideas that WWE need to sign him up for. Like, they wasting time and playing games. Like, that's a real legit. If they don't do that, they playing in their ass. Pardon my language. Real shit. Ain't nobody else noticed the fact that they constantly post the throwback pictures of Roxanne meeting AJ Lee and hugging her back in whatever home country and shit. Come on, man. Run that shit. Chris Brown that shit.
Type.
For real. All right, but we're going to get ready and close this part out. When we come back, we're going directly into the Seth Rollins versus Gunther match. Now, this was a regular match, but it was a match that needs to be talked about, and we're going to give it the time it needs. As well as, after that, we got the main event, which was the controversial Pat McAfee with Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes for the Universal title. Appreciate y'all for staying locked in with us. We'll be right back home. Pardon me. Hang tight. And we're back. Thank y'all for staying locked in with us. This is the podcast 773. Over here, we talk about wrestling. This is a very special episode. We got my man Dfence, the mind behind the madness. When we talking about production, when we coming up with ideas and concepts, we is me and he. And it's great to finally have him on the episode that we can dive into. This was a very important one. We are reviewing WrestleMania 42 Night 1, aka the night that we will not talk about anymore after tonight. Continuing on with the episode, we go into a match that they threw together extremely fast, but was able to give us a hell of a build in about 2 weeks. This is Gunther versus Seth Rollins. This match was originally supposed to be Roman versus Seth. Then it changed.
Braun.
No, originally it was supposed to be Roman versus Seth.
Right, the heavyweight, right.
And then Seth got injured and Braun got the belt, and it was supposed to be Seth versus Braun. Braun got injured. Braun wasn't cleared to return. It was touch and go. And I knew that because I'd been signed up for hernia surgery before. I know the recovery. I know the surgery. I had all that shit lined up. I'm not exactly sure how mind operate. What I will say is it used to slide out of place and I would just physically push that shit back in, whatever it was. And I would tell the doctor that shit. And when I go get x-rayed, you couldn't see nothing. Sorry if that's gross, but anyway. I know the recovery time, 6 to 8 weeks. And it was to the deadline. That's why he wasn't cleared before, which is why they couldn't book the match. But the day of, he was, and he was able to come through, and we'll acknowledge what he did during the actual match. Fence, Seth versus Gunther. And I know you knew exactly like I knew what originally it was supposed to be, what it turned out to be. What was your views of this situation?
For me, like both of the people that was injured that was leading up to it, which Rey Mysterio fucking finagled his way out of fucking doing that, which is hilarious. That'll be on night 2 we'll talk about. But then also with Braun being out, where you go, people are like, oh, why is Gunther doing this? Because he's on a retiring phase, which his initial goal was to retire Brock, which we'll get in that night 2 of that was the goal, because Ray ducked him, now Brock ducked him, and now what do we do? And he's like, no, I'm helping Paul. It made sense because I'm helping Paul because the Vision is worried with the Usos or Street Profits. Brock is busy with Oba. Nobody's protecting me when they're like defending themselves. So he needs a hired gun. What's the incentive? Somebody he can take out. I don't know what we do from there. But I'm like, cool. I love Gunther as a character. They booked him boring and whatnot, but I love the troll that he is. He's my absolute favorite, especially the John Cena trolling of the hand. Yeah. You can't see me to people. That shit's hilarious. When I saw it was Seth versus Gunther, I was like, buddy, sign me up. That is marquee, like two of the most greatest in-ring performers on the roster. Out of nowhere, have to put on a match. I don't care for the build-up. I want to see this shit go. And they built it up nice, too, where it made sense with the aggression. And they put, if they had at least another 5 to 7 minutes, it will be definite 5-star classic, I believe, this match. It had everything. Like Seth coming out, black contacts. I don't know if he's a demon or not. We'll see on that. I don't really see the contacts taken out thing, and I don't know why that needed to be part of his outfit unless it was some Mortal Kombat thing I
No,
don't know
please.
about.
I would love if you would go over and break down this match.
Actually, I would like for you to lead on it. I didn't take many it's like certain
Say
highlights, but
less.
I don't have detail.
Say less. So originally, Gunther came out first, typical Gunther interest. Seth Rollins came out, and me and Fence were debating this, but I think he might be right. I said he came out with like a cabal type jacket, even though it was smoking. Fence said he came out with a smoke type jacket. Whatever it was, my man came out with pure black eyeballs, not just the pupil, not just the iris, like the whole shebang. Like all that joint was black. And then the camera kind of backed off, like how mine is right now. And then it kind of looked like his eyes turned regular. Barely. I mean, at this stage in technology, you would think we have better whatever. But then my man turned like this and he hit his face and then he turned back around and he had regular eyes. And I'm no scientist, but there's no way you slap your face and your contacts come out your face. So we were trying to figure out that part, but we kind of couldn't. And Fence, he get right to the point. Like I'm an optimist to a degree. You can kind of hear it in my voice when I say stuff, but Fence was like, "Nah, that's some demonistic shit." And I would advise anyone who thinks we bullshitting, go look up Seth Rollins' entrance. If you have access, go rewatch the PLE because I don't think it's available on YouTube yet. But look at Seth Rollins' entrance. He comes out with the black eyeballs, and we initially first rewatch on the first watch. I mean, we're trying to figure out, yo, what the fuck just happened? It happened so fast, and we were also by this point so pissed off and mad, we refused to rewind any fucking thing. Let's just get this shit over with. Because now we're mad and we're drinking and I'm getting sloppy. I'm home, I'm safe, we're all safe. But it's like me, I'm disgusted because now, and I said it earlier, but it's very true. I kept repeating, what the fuck is this? I don't know what's going on. I said that so much that when I remembered I said it the following day, it made me exhausted. I know what that means. That means I said that shit so much subconsciously. I don't want to say that shit. Those words in that order can't be said out of my mouth for a period of time because my body, when I said it physically, was like, this shit again. That's how much we said that shit. Fence, am I lying?
No, but they're not lying at all. It was
It sounds like I'm being
definitely
dramatic.
waiting.
I promise you I'm not. We both said it for like the first 5 matches.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
but let me go into this match. Seth and Gunther came out of nowhere, but it was probably the best match of night 1. Mainly because Gunther and Seth are fucking professionals. They get it done. It's a reason that Seth was handed the keys to the kingdom back in 2015 after Punk left. It wasn't out of necessity. Maybe it was. Let's say that it was. He lived up to the hype. He came from the Indies, Ring of Honor, Tyler Black. Shout out Tyler Black. Seth Rollins, even if he was given the keys too early, he stepped up and he handled business. The one thing I will admit, he gets injured pretty frequently. Another thing that I will admit, he recovers extremely fast. So it's a catch-22 in my eyes for that part. The one thing I know, he's reliable. You can give him anything and he makes it work. You talking about turning shit into a shit sandwich and selling that hoe for twice what it's worth? He does that. He gets it done. And Gunther is the future of the prototype of what Seth Rollins is. Seth Rollins is the my apologies, I'm stuttering. Seth Rollins is the undersized champion. Gunther is the dominant force, the dominant foreign force. Like they love the foreign bad guy as long as it's not disrespectful and offensive to a degree that will upset a certain class or whatever. Gunther's fantastic. He sells his tail off. He can cut promos and he has one lane. He's the foreign bad guy. Don't make him a good guy. Don't make him a baby face. Don't make him a comedy character. Leave him as the foreign heel, because the one thing that wrestling does well is have the foreign bad guy be the foreign bad guy. And we have one that can actually perform in the ring at a level that we've never seen before. He went on numerous consecutive win streaks. He's held titles for years on end. This match between him and Seth was, unbeknownst to ourselves, a dream match that we didn't know we wanted. After seeing this for the second time, I can't wait for them to run it back. And they will be ran back. I hope it happens before either one of them has a title, and then I hope it happens again after one of them gets a belt and it starts a thing. Because Seth will be the next class of legend that retires and has to pass the torch. And Gunther, by that point, will be that legend. He will have the 10, 12-time reign by the time Seth Rollins is leaving. Gunther is one of the pillars of the future that we are currently watching. Currently, Javon Evans is the future. Carmelo Anthony is part of the future.
Hayes.
Gunther is now. Gunther is
Carmelo
now.
Hayes, not Anthony. You did the Roman Reigns
I'm
thing.
I'm sorry. Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes. My apologies.
He knows. Roman did the same thing on that thing.
I'm 3 shots in. But yeah, so in this match, it was the typical setup of the powerful, big powerhouse giant versus the quicker, speedy specialist. Seth and Rollins, my apologies. Gunther and Rollins start off scrapping on the outside before the match even gets going. They get it going outside for a good handful of minutes. They get in the ring and the bell go off. It starts off with an exchange of big boots between both individuals. And I'm talking about bounce off the rope, hit a big boot. Bounce off the rope. They both did that like 3 times. But it was great work. Fantastic action between both of these guys. They are selling for each other. Seth is a returning wrestler. Seth always returns and is directly placed into the top part of the card. And then he goes into the main event. But him meeting his match against Gunther is something we haven't seen for a while. Gunther is the power. He's the chops. He slows you down. He wears you down. He chokes you out instantly if he gets the opportunity, which he attempted to do a few times. Gunther powerbombed Seth at one point, only gets a 2. Seth was able to get a stomp in, but he only gets a 2 off of that. Gunther throw in a sleeper on Seth, but it's too early, so it don't last. Seth gets Gunther on the top rope at one point, and he hits his famous suplex into the Falcon Elbow, but he only picks up the 2 off it. Then Seth throwing a sleeper to Gunther, and he trying to take him out, wear him down. Thing I noticed, the crowd did not chant, "You tapped out." At no point during this match did I hear any audience yell, "You tapped out." So that part is gone. And that's the mindset of the current wrestler. It doesn't last. All you got to do is keep going. And at some point, that shit passed. What's happening, Brody?
Those chants are gone because the real fans that actually protest about it can't afford to be there. That's why it's gone.
I was thinking that, and I didn't want to say it, but since you acknowledged it, I believe that's absolutely right. Because the real fans aren't there. If the real fans were there, as soon as that would have applied, it should have been chanted. I noticed that it didn't, but it should have been. And that's what I felt, and I should have stated it. But I'm glad you said something because I was able to say my piece.
Problem.
So Gunther then gets Seth on the outside, and he's been doing this one spot at PLEs where he'll powerbomb a motherfucker on the apron, the hardest part of the ring. That's what they like to call it. And then he'll powerbomb them on the announce table, like on the edge of it. Another hard part of a motherfucking piece of furniture. He hits Seth with that shit. Seth is trying to recover out of nowhere, like a bullet train. And again, shout out to the cameraman because they were on time with these angles. All you see with the angle they had is a returning Braun Breaker running into frame and lifting Seth Rollins off his GD feet, fully exposed. And when I seen that, and this is a shout out to the storyline and the action of the match. Originally, if you would have asked me 2 or 3 days before, because I think I said it in my prediction, Braun interferes. As I was watching this match, it got so good, I forgot that was what I said. I was locked into the match because of Gunther's finisher and the determination of a Seth Rollins. But when I seen it, it drew me back in. So this is why, as of now, this match has my match of the night vote. Now, after hearing what I said up until just this point, Dfence, what was your thoughts on this match? And if you would be so kind to go into the finish.
So far in this match, the intensity, like you said, like the undying spirit of Seth Rollins to fight. I'm like, this whole match, it seemed like they were trying to beat each other down and like going for the pin. The pin falls were like they are going for it and trying to land devastating moves, counter like ring IQ is at play. They're countering each other like they've shown weeks before, and their brawl ups like, oh, you tried to go for this. I know you're going for that counter. I'm like,
Yeah,
this is showing their ring IQ at play. Like, I know you and you know me. Like, I'm not going for that. And it's a full out brawl. So I'm like, I was already sold, and it's continuing to pay off. And then, like you said, with Braun, the thing with Braun, I didn't necessarily forget. I ruled it out because you said he was injured. If he's showing up today for this pop, for me, I'm like,
if I may interject, I knew when they said initially about the surgery what the timetable was. I knew it was going to be a very close deadline. They waited as long as they possibly could because they wanted that to pay off.
like Paige.
It would have taken 72 hours at least. He would have had to been cleared before, and he wasn't. But he was cleared the day of. I'm almost positive. That's why the storyline couldn't play out at this current juncture. But my brother, please continue.
And also, after hearing that as well, thank you for adding on to that. It helped me realize I'm like, that provided a way for like the loss to be like okay for Seth to lose to Gunther, and it's not a real bout for like it was interference and that costed him the match. So I'm like, okay, actually, this match was very well done in storytelling in the 2 weeks we had. The 2 weeks, so I'm like, it goes to show how great these guys are overall.
Because we initially knew that Braun would interfere into this match.
Yeah, we
But
did say
they
that.
built it up so well and the match got so good. I'll speak for me. I forgot about the Braun Breaker angle. So when I seen it, it popped me.
I popped.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it
popped.
popped
And
me.
then he like kipped up like real fast to it's that Braun Breaker intensity that you love to where you get up and you start pss, 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 pss. It's like, yeah, he's tweaking out like he can't control his rage. Like that's what we loved that put him over is
Yeah.
that Braun. And then he left and Seth got tapped out, passed out. And then after the match, for him to come back, which funny canonically, he was watching in Gorilla for the match to be over, for him to run down the ramp and run it like the camera shot of you see him, he was huffing it down that ramp full fucking speed.
I need somebody to put audio to clip that part of Braun running down the ramp to hit Seth Rollins with that second spear, because that is by far one of the funniest clips that will ever be made in history. If you could put some type of heavy breathing, oh my, like, because we rewatched that part probably 5 or 4 separate times.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
my
he
man
was
was
like
kicking up dust.
huffing it, like
No
full
sound. No
blast.
sound. All you see,
So fast.
like
The Carlito spear, he dives downward and like he front flips where he kicks Seth Rollins in the eye so fast, and he stood back up afterwards. I'm like, yeah, this guy is nuts. This is why we love Braun Breaker, which is unfortunate with the hernia thing that Oba took his shine of being the top guy to look for. Unfortunately, he lost some stock in that time.
But when that match comes together, when it's Oba versus Oba versus Braun, my apologies, that's going to be smoke
That
in
would
the
be
city.
great. I can't wait.
So Gunther gets the victory. Seth passes out. He looks strong still because it was interference, and he passed out. He didn't tap out. This is something I would love to see continue later on. After this, we get the class of 2026 Hall of Fame. Now, I don't have an exact list, but I know Demolition was part of it. I know Dennis Rodman was part of it. I know that Psycho Sid Vicious was part of it. I know that Brown, what's my name? What was my boy name? God, I don't want to be disrespectful. The one black guy. Come on, team.
D'Lo?
No. Something Brown. Bruno Brown, Downtown Brown. Is a black guy from the back in the day. Jesus Christ, I
Bringing
feel
around
racist.
town Brown.
Anyway, shout out Mr. Brown. He was represented by his family. But then we got AJ Styles, who came out, and I remember popping like, yeah, AJ Styles is in the class of 2020. He retired after Rumble this year. For reference, Cena retired earlier also.
Month
Not in this
before.
class.
Month and a half.
Not in this class. We know why. Because after AJ Styles made his entrance, the headliner for the class of 26 came out, which is Stephanie McMahon Helmsley. Very much understandable. I get it. Looks like some form of nepotism, not through the father, more so the husband. But whatever's clever, the one thing I will acknowledge, Stephanie is on her shit. I think I'm able to say it in that fashion. If you know, you know. After the yes, sir.
I wanted to note with the Hall of Fame, I think what makes it disgusting is the fact that Triple H was inducted the year before, and then it was announced for Stephanie like at the WrestleMania 42 like rollout in October, like for the Hall of Fame tour. We had a bad taste in our mouths like
She was
afterwards.
announced.
So it's like, what
I'm
the
sorry,
fuck? You,
brother.
now your wife after you. It should have been her first, I believe.
I don't think they should have been announced back to back. I don't think she
100%.
should have been announced that fucking early.
Yeah.
We were in the middle of John Cena's retirement, and we were hearing rumblings of AJ Styles retiring. And as soon as this shit takes place, Stephanie is announced like 4 months before anybody else.
But it's also to note too
She
with
just
the
came
Hall of
back.
Fame. The Hall of Fame, a lot of people don't get inducted until 40 years later or 15, 10. Like some people don't get directly inducted. Like that's how it go. Like Psycho Sid and Demolit, like they're inducted now. Like it's amazing that AJ is going right now. That just shows he want to be done with this and be over it
Yeah,
and get it done with.
legit.
Yeah, that's what that was.
Now,
But I feel like Steph should have had it before Triple H, and it would have been a different story.
I don't know. Steph just returned back to business. Triple H never left. Steph walked away because she didn't know what the last name was going to do. Now that they know it's a little safer, or correction, now that we know it's safer for her, it's all good. But they're working on the big joint. They working on VKM. And I
Yeah.
promise y'all, I keep acknowledging that point. Once they feel like the water is good, my boy gonna put his toes in that shit. Pause. That was crazy. I gotta say that shit every episode. It's never any fail. I really don't be trying to do that shit, but I just feel like sometimes I don't want to be clipped up crazy.
Yeah.
Just in case. Just in case. Anyway, after the announcement of the Hall of Fame class, we get Liv Morgan challenging Stephanie Vacar for the women's championship. I will just say my quick piece on this. Vince, do you have enough notes to say anything about this?
Honestly, this is just a Monday Night Raw. It's 7-minute match of the Devil's Kiss went off in the first try in the first 2 minutes. Where already in the night we are like, this shit is rushed. where I'm like, yeah, this is another result of that. And like blatantly and just a hurry finish, Judgment Day interference, pin, Liv got it. Trouble, trouble. That's me.
Yeah, my boy took the words right out of my brain. The entrances were big, they were nice. This was a typical match. It had the same Judgment Day interference. We knew which way it was playing out solely because the way that WWE has presented Stephanie, she has not gotten over. Because she has not gotten over, they're not happy with the results. But she hasn't gotten over because of the way that they presented her.
Like
So it's a
Julia.
catch-22. Don't get me started, brother. So we knew the belt was going to live on top of the point that she released the music video. So she's getting double pushed. The Rock was doing wrestling and movies. Liv is going to have a singing career and be a wrestler. We're going to see where that goes. I'm not hating at all. I'm excited to see because I don't know if we had a legit wrestler take this route. She'll get over mainly because of who she is, plus how she looks. We'll see if the music translates to numbers as well. Like, I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm being realistic. Vince is here to fucking second my motion, and I love that part.
For sure. And also to note too, I'm like, we are real big fans of women's wrestling modern day to where I'm more over for women's wrestling and like I'm more on the stage where I'm like, I believe in these women and we know who they are as people in the back scenes and in the forefront. And Liv is one of the nicest people, if you know, like the kindest person like ever. She deserves this. How many WrestleManias and no victories?
I just want to
Royal Rumble.
acknowledge Liv got lucky because people got injured and she had to step up and she performed. And ever since, she's been taking off. It took a while. And sometimes it's being in the right place at the right time, being available, willing to accept shit until you get that silver platter. She did that shit. And now she's undeniable. She's undersized. She didn't have a strong promo. She was the third wheel in factions that she was joining. She grew into a fucking butterfly. You give her her props, and now she's at the top of the mountain. That's why she does that greatest Royal Rumble or the greatest champion of all
I love
time.
her. She's so
She
annoying,
earned it.
it's great. Yeah,
She's earned it. I believe all wrestlers have their niche. You don't want to get pigeonholed it. I can completely understand that. But everybody has their lane. Liv is the perfect heel. She should stay there. Keep doing fresher variations of some form of that because that's your wheelhouse, baby.
and I have a
Faith,
theory of heels, like, the greatest heels are the greatest actual people, like, the kindest people, because you can't tune into being that fucked up without
I could
being like
pretend to be some shit that I'm not.
yeah,
This is
yes,
what I see, and I'm going to act out what I see. And it's
exactly.
so like because it's not me, it's going to hit. I'm good at what I do. Like that's why that's why I salute these wrestlers are athletic. They're athletes.
Yes.
They're performers. They're actors at times. The good ones are
Mhm.
actors.
Yeah,
This is what we're seeing. This is why they get those roles.
and they're
Also,
contractors too, by the way.
Liv has
That's
been
not
doing
talked about.
movies, which means she's probably got acting coaches and vocal coaches. She's like, it's different now. It hits different. She's done that movie. She came back and freshened up her character right before WrestleMania came. So going into the new season, she has a fresh character. You pointed out to me, Dfence, that she's been doing the bags under the eyes, the trouble.
Yeah, from the
That's
music
smart.
video.
That's
It's
we like to
marketing.
call we like to call that good booking. She's
Mhm.
thinking ahead. She's outside of the box. So you come into the new season instead of you're changing when season 5, episode 1 starts. Liv's coming in with her new character already.
And
She
that
did.
also goes to show too, I'm sorry, with the releases of like, you got released because your character went stale, where somebody at the top of the list is reinventing themselves just because they want to stay fresh. That's how you stay. You make value.
She was already over, and she freshened up her character and did not need to do so.
Yes.
That's how you stay relevant. I like to call that the Chris Jericho effect. Jericho has only been around for as long as he has because he continues to reinvent himself.
Yes.
It's the same shit. It's the same Jericho. It's just a different side, a different view, a different gimmick. It's him
Yeah.
doing something, and he'll switch from babyface to heel, babyface. And it's the transitions. It's the working with different wrestlers that makes it pop.
Mm-hmm.
He's essentially done the same thing he did in WWE with AEW with more free range. Just now, the shit that Punk had, when Punk left, all went to Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho. They're there's pillars of AEW: Darby Allin, MJF, Heyman Adam Page, maybe Swerve Strickland. I mean, pillars are the people it was Britt Baker. Pillars of AEW are the wrestlers who are homegrown AEW talent. MJF, Darby Allin, Hangman's not considered, but off top, maybe Brody King. I'm drawing a blank. God forgive me. Put it in the comments if you know who the pillars of AEW are. You can Google it. It'll pop up. Sorry, I'm getting a little slush. But MJF, Darby Allin, Hangman Adam Page is one of them. That they've turned themselves into that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I lost my point for a second.
It's reinventing themselves of gimmicks, staying on top.
And hits the oblivion, picks up the 1-2-3. This is the second time she's popped this move on Vacar. She wins, regains her women's title, jumps Stephanie after the fact just to prove a point. But maybe we're going to see a revamping of the Judgment Day, because we'll go into it after we finish the recap and the review of WrestleMania. But things are brewing within the Judgment Day, whether it's for good or bad. But Finch, you got anything else to add to this Stephanie Vacar Liv Morgan match for the title?
Not at all. This is one of the most cut and paste outside of the AJ Lee and Becky. It's already been done kind of the same way.
You're
No
absolutely
pops,
right.
no big moments, interference like the rest of the Monday Night Raw. Okay,
Basic,
whatever. 7 minutes.
basic as shit.
Yeah.
But, and again, by the fourth, fifth match, me and Fence were heated. Hot as motherfucking flip-flops on the beach. By this time, we were just trying not to lose our cool. And I think I could speak for him when I say just trying to not come off as ungrateful for the experience, because we were doing so much complaining. But we almost done, y'all. When we come back, all we got left is the main event, and we gonna go into what this entailed, because this pretty much set the tone for what was taking place that evening. Rondo, Dfence, we'll be right back. Let's close this shit out strong. And we're back. Want to thank y'all for staying locked in with us. We almost to the home stretch. Or this actually might be it. We rounding towards home base. I'm not best with the baseball analogies, whatever. But coming back, we have John Cena making another appearance. His second appearance of the evening with this segment. Did you want to go in on this part, Dfence?
What was he announced? I'll add on after.
Okay, for sure. He was actually coming through to announce the attendance for the evening. Topped out at 50,816 individuals, or tickets sold, I guess is how they overphrase it.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a record. They didn't say anything about a record. Might have been, I don't know.
No.
I don't think it was.
No.
We also got a returning Bianca Belair. She pulled up. We have been waiting for well over a year for her return. She pulled a beautiful blue flowing outfit. You know, she put her own things together. So it's like, I'm always astonished by that part. She gets in the ring. You can't have WrestleMania without the EST. And I'm like, yes. And the whole time I'm looking at her hands. I'm like, finger looks fine. Looks reports told us she was just having surgery in January type shit. So I'm like, looks like we all systems go.
When you coming back to work?
Right. Like, I'm not even listening to what she's saying because I'm just like, yeah, we back down.
It don't look that bad.
Then all of a sudden, I see her gesture towards her outfit and she hit the zipper and still not really locked into the audio portion. I see the joint open up and I'm like, ain't this about to... So Bianca Belair reveals that she is now with child. So that's why she hadn't made her return. That was the holdup. I guess they were and respectfully so, they were holding back until they knew it was a sure thing. I'm almost certain of. Congratulations, first and foremost, to Montez and Bianca. But gosh darn it, these people keep ruining they taking our WrestleMania main events purposely. First, Naomi just had her child with Jimmy. Healthy baby boy. And now Bianca's going to be gone for at least another year, 2 years, because they're also having a baby boy. So, I mean, what were, if any, your thoughts on this part of the situation?
It's Bianca Belair like, missed you. We need you back so much. Please, I get to see you. Please tell me you're coming back. We were looking down that ramp at the Royal Rumble, hoping you would come down. And
so happy.
And it's like, yeah, my finger is like, okay. And then like, oh, she's back. She's telling that now I'm going to be gone longer. This one, you can't blame on Triple H on this one of not booking black women. It's like, no, this is Jimmy Uso and Montez Ford is the reason why the women's division is falling apart. You can blame those two right there. But I'm really happy for them ultimately and that they have a healthy birth and you can come back to work. I'm looking at that finger too.
Am I tripping? Am I tripping in thinking? And I apologize. I keep stumbling over. I'm the one who put the 1.5 rule in effect and I'm not adhering to it. I digress. Am I tripping in thinking that both women were recovering from injury when they came back and there was like, boom, this is what it is? I know Bianca for sure. I can't remember Naomi.
No. Naomi was like healthy, like she cashed in and was good. She was good.
It happened overseas. I remember now.
Right, but a little bit before that she was injured. She was injured for a little bit, yeah.
And they went overseas for that tour.
Right,
and
the
she
Europe
came
tour.
Back. Yep. And I remember thinking like, oh, they got it in out the country. My apologies. That might have been rough. But yeah, so that part happened. But that also leads us into our night one main event. If I remember correctly, you took thorough notes on this match. Your notes are stronger than mine. I would be obliged, my good brother, if you would go ahead and lead us in breaking down this match and doing your due diligence. Show the people why you the man behind the scenes that's hitting them with them ultra beams.
Amen. I hope I don't disappoint you like my wife. So next up, we got Randy Orton versus the WWE Undisputed Universal Champion, whatever order that is, and too many fucking names for that title. Should be WWE Championship. WWE Undisputed what? They're not unified anymore. All right. This is the WWE Championship. All right. So we start out with, we mentioned in the other segment of us playing bingo, and it was Randy Orton entrance being over 5 minutes, and it was like to the T, a little over 5 minutes.
That's wild.
Like, that's like, just for you to like slowly walk is what irritates me. Is like, there's no showmanship, like nothing down. It's like
a
just
walk. It's just
like
a
Roman
walk.
Reigns. It's just a slow walk. I'm like, that's not worth 7 minutes of me waiting.
I can almost give Roman a pass because he throws up the one a couple of times.
Yeah,
in
that's
between
something.
the
Yeah.
walk.
Yeah, that's true.
Randy, I think he just comes out. I think he stands at the top and then he makes his way very slowly. And I'm
And
like,
then he go to the corners.
but it's also lately because he's been soaking in the cheers because now the crowd is singing along. They started singing along like a year when he was babyface and they like learned his lyrics because overseas they go crazy with that, and that's where it started for him. He wasn't getting that type of love.
I doubt it's to soak it in, which is my plot point of this match going forward is, he's moving that slow because he ain't got the stamina to fucking be in the matches. And I love Randall Keith Orton, but I'm like, if you've seen his last stuff, even the King of the Ring, like a couple years ago with Gunther, like he's a slower, bulkier, like he's like a standard wrestler now, and he got safer moves. It's like he's not a technician where it carries over with like to be the champ. They would just be giving you that, but like you're injured frequently, like you can't be champion. Like that's just for the sake of it. It's like, why are you gone? I'm getting ahead of myself. So we got Randy entrance, and then we got Cody's entrance, where you see his different like attire over his career, like the dashing Cody Rhodes, his first starting trunks, Stardust, respect.
I enjoyed. I thought that was very great attention to detail. It was a cool WrestleMania moment and a first night that didn't have a lot of WrestleMania moments, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That was a pretty cool one.
One that paid off because we had the Becky like live band, we had the AJ coming down with it was a lot of like spectacular entrances, but they were like dull behind, like because the match was whatever. So I was like, okay, cool thing, but that was the best part of this. But Cody emerges in all gold and gold mask. It looks fantastic to me.
I wanted to know your opinion on that.
The mask grew on me because I'm like, that thing is like way too big, like over. They can like make it small, like Triple H with the golden like chainmail and skull, like something more refined. But this one's much better on that and the gold jacket. Like I really like the Patriot, like 19 whatever era Patriots like where Cody has. I'm a fan of it.
Do you watch the Amazon Prime show The Boys?
Yes.
So initially, I think consensus will show it seemed like Cody was doing a version of a Homelander situation, which I'm locked in for, which is kind of what I've always viewed it as, which also ties into why I'm so thirsty for the heel turn, because although it's black hair Cody, like I think it'll go full circle with the Homelander references. I mean, I know that's not purposely done, but I love that that's what it seems like for a lot of people.
I would think it's in reverse of Homelander is a lot more like Cody Rhodes. Just Cody Rhodes just happened to have blonde hair this time around. He's always been that vicious. Like he's always been that. That's why you want heel Cody Rhodes, because you know his capabilities of what he can do, but he's staying under the suits and whatnot. And that's something John Cena called out. Like, you're a politician. You're too perfect in your suits. Like, it means nothing. But I think that's going to pay off later of like, oh, Cody keeps winning. I'm like, that's the bigger arc to the story is, he keeps winning. That's why his fall would be so fantastic. That pushes him to that heel turn that's justified. It's kind of like the Sammy thing and the gingerbread man. So the match starts off with the announcement of the challenger, Randy Orton, against, Pat McAfee takes the microphone from the Alicia Taylor and announces Randy, more heel work and whatnot. I'm like, it's annoying. It's a line of like, heel is like, no, we just hate you anyway. Like WWE has a hard time of like, see, you got heat. It's like, no, that's hate. That's not heat. That's hate. That's a different thing. Same letters, different rearrangement. But Cody starts and Pat McAfee attacks Cody Rhodes to start off. And immediately Jelly Roll appears and he runs off the barricade and belly rolls on Pat McAfee through the announcer's table, taking Pat McAfee out, putting him on a stretcher, and in heel fashion, Pat McAfee puts a thumbs up like people were checking for him. And they're
gets
like,
booed.
I'm like, booed. I'm like, easy heat.
I remember when this happened being like, okay, good. This is over with. It's out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, knowing what we know now, and just if you don't know, this was an angle that was pushed by TKO. This was not of Triple H's doing. Pat McAfee did not want to originally do this angle, and he was basically pressured by his management and area manual because they saw dollar signs in this move. This backfired. This went in the complete opposite direction. But this was all, again, in hindsight. When this was happening in real time, this probably was what Triple H set it up to be, because I'm almost certain the agreement was to have them involved in the match, let them get a spot, whatever the case is. So you do it early, get it out the way, and if you will, please continue.
Get that Pat McAfee, like the hindrance, like bloodline rules. All right, we got the members that will interfere out. That's a headache gone. So we're like, we can actually digest this match. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. After the whole night we had, it's like, okay, we can actually, this will be a main event. Like they're setting the stage of like, all right, just me, you. So we start out it was a really slow build for the first half of the match, but out the gate, you see Cody doing heel-like tendencies, working the back of Randy Orton, knowing that's his weak point, and that's good storytelling where it's going into you got to pay attention to things because it's something John Cena says, like, you couldn't pull the trigger, and that's why you didn't beat me. You were too soft. Or it's like Cody not having a belt and that crazed look at the Elimination Chamber and the rise to that. He can't be without it. He's like, I'm gonna do whatever it is to keep the belt. Like it's like the mask. Like he needs it for him to be something. And that'll be great if he comes to his heel turn. At some point when he comes to his heel turn, that'll be a factor. So it's a slow back and forth. Back work to Randy from Cody. A surprising thing happened. Randy doing a superplex on Cody from the turnbuckle, where I'm like, which also Becky's like, you got your back worked on as a weak point, and for you to go for it, that's questionable. But I mean, that's given everything. Yeah, he sells.
Randy always sells, and I can appreciate that.
You got Randy doing this signature through the ropes DDT. Bam. They go outside, battling on Randy does his table spots, lift Cody, announcer's table, Spanish announcer's table a couple times. They start brawling in the ring again.
I wanted to ask you, when this match first began, who did you have winning?
Randy.
You had Randy. Yeah, I believe I did too.
Only because why do the Elimination Chamber and like the layup of that and then the heel turn, like for it not to pay? It just seemed like that was just BS. It's like edging the punt kick for how long? Like still, it's like we're still not getting the payoff right now. Like why make it a thing of this is his 15th championship? Like he's been in this many WrestleMania. Like why make these stat things if he was gonna lose like everybody else that you expect to go against Cody Rhodes? But I think they were trying to get TKO out of the story. Well, we'll get to that later. That's at the end of that. But they go back in the ring, they fight. Randy's busted open somehow. Randy ends up hitting Cody with the crossroads. All night we've been getting stolen finishers.
Yeah.
All night.
Which was on the bingo card.
Yeah, it's gonna mark that up multiple times. Then Cody gets back up, then counters with the crossroads, and Randy kicks out at 1. I'm like, whoa.
Which is tough.
After all that, after the announcement tables and all this work, like at a 1 is crazy. They go back outside. He puts Randy through the Spanish announcer's table a couple times. Get back in the ring. Cody is setting up Randy for RKO. Camera panning, like, come on. And if you know Randy, it's like, that's the open chance. Randy's stunned. And what's going on? RKO.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. Go for the pin. Energy's high. Cody kicks out at 2. And then they brawl for a little bit more. And a good story point that I like, the storytelling, is the blood being in Randy's eyes where he attacked the ref because the ref is a blonde and you can't really see. You just see blonde hair. He hits the ref with the RKO and then he gets Cody and he goes for the pin. Like, wait, what happened? And then Cody gets the best of him. Then Randy goes for the pin again. Pat McAfee runs down the ramp in a referee shirt and a neck brace, and he runs in 1, 2, kick out. Randy gets up, he's fuming, like, you fucked this up. RKO's Pat McAfee. Doesn't make sense to me why
Now,
you would do that.
I apologize. I tried to
Yeah.
interject. Yeah, when that part happened, it pissed me off because I felt like that, like, okay, maybe the sequence in which it played out was stretched out over, like it didn't play out properly. Maybe that was what's supposed to happen. Pat and Jelly Roll have their spot. Pat gets carted off. He comes back as referee, doesn't get the fast count quick enough or whatever. Like the Randy RKO, like I can see all that happening, but the way it happened and the time that it did, it
Yeah.
again in
That's
real
what, yeah.
time, it made no fucking sense at all.
Yeah. Like, oh, yeah, you messed up. You were supposed to get. So the plan was to get him down as a ref so you could get a fast count. Like, that doesn't make sense, story. Like, he messed up and then you turn on him that easy when you were like riding his junk for like weeks and like posted up, letting him hold the title and stuff. Like, what was that? It's a rewrite. That's what it is, brothers. So he RKO's Pat McAfee. Cody capitalizes after that. Crossroads 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes retains, and
With
afterwards, Randy punt kicks Cody unsuspected, attacks him. Where I go, why not do this in the match? It's because we're erasing the story and we getting TKO out of this. Like, they put Pat McAfee. This isn't gonna have the payoff that we needed to. So fuck it, erase.
this was
Sorry for cussing.
No, you're good. This was Triple H doing his petty thing. He was forced to, apologies. He was forced to do this storyline. So he did it in the way that he always does when he's forced to do some shit he don't want to do. He sloppily put it out. He made it look like trash. And now he's going to essentially erase it from history. Like they're going to act like it didn't happen. Currently, I believe Randy's been off TV for the past 2 weeks. I don't
Since
think he's
WrestleMania.
he's not written off with injury. They're just taking him, in my opinion, taking him off to try to refresh this whole storyline because it's not over. He's blackened Cody's eye. Pat McAfee is no longer involved in these storylines. Stories later came out that he did not want to continue this shit, so he backed out, which was the right thing to do because he should never have been involved in the first place. We've also got video and vlogs from Jelly Roll saying the same thing after the fact. So it more likely seems like they were forced into these storylines by TKO solely for profit, not because they are getting money. It's because ticket sales didn't do what they thought they were going to do, so they tried to bust other moves to get them dollars other ways. It was a very sloppily handled situation by the head of the whole situation. And this is apparently what they do every time WrestleMania rolls around. I believe they interjected
Yeah.
themselves last year.
And the year before with The Rock and Cody.
So, yeah, this is how night one ends. Randy.
What would you give the rating of the match before we close up? What do you rate it?
Watching the match originally, I thought after the McAfee and Jelly Roll shit was out the way, it was a pretty good match. It was a slow build, but I also remember thinking, this is Randy's last hurrah. He goes on last. He has slow paced matches. He hits his spots. He's wrestling like a veteran who's on his last go round. So I was expecting him to get the belt, especially with the shenanigans him and Pat had been pulling. I wasn't mad at the match. The finish at the time, I at the time when I seen it, I would have gave it 6.5, and that's mainly because the match that they had made it good. The actual spots in it, them working the crowd. I'm advocating for that Cody heel turn. So every time I see him do something that's heel related, I'm excited about that part. But after rewatching and knowing what I know, I will bump it up to like a 7.5 because they'll revisit it and they'll be able to play it out the way Triple H wants it to work. What about you? What was you rated?
I would say as a match, it was a good 8 out of 10. Mostly because it's just their King of the Ring match, slow pace, working the back. Like, will he but all of this is important in the story of Cody Rhodes' storyline of that heel turn of like, oh, he's pulling the trigger. He's willing to do what it takes to keep the championship because he can't be without it. So I'm like thinking of that factor of that. I'm like, as a match, cool, but storyline wise, I'm like, it was kind of hard to like follow. It's like this was supposed to be the build up. Like, actually, we're gonna retcon this right now and build this up next time. It's like this is WrestleMania. Like, I get it's a business thing, but I have to like watch like, well, sorry, this is what we had to do at the time. Like, huh? But I give it, yeah, an 8 out of 10 of a match. But I don't understand. Like, Randy was on top. He left Cody injured, and he's the one gone. And Cody's been on Raw and SmackDown since. Like, this don't make me viable of Randy getting the championship because of these details here. Slow movement, and he's gone for like 3 months. It's like, dude, it'll be a
Yeah.
short reign
For Cody,
for Randy when he gets it.
you think he gets it at SummerSlam?
Possibly. Another thing I just thought of too, do you think they were worried about running into it's the same story from WrestleMania 41? Old mentor, turn heel, get the championship from you, you chase to SummerSlam, get it back. Like, because it was lining up to look the same as the John Cena like retirement tour, kind of.
Yeah, but that wasn't purposely being done.
Yeah.
And they could have played it out differently because Randy and Cody have a closer relationship than John and Cody. It
Yeah.
hits different. Even in the promo that Cody cut, like he's nowhere near the same guy. He's not the little
Yeah.
brother who was the babysitter. Like he's the king of the hill. He's quarterback one. And he almost seems to feel like disrespect. That's why it's
Mhm.
like when this heel turn comes, it's still going to incorporate things that he's going through right now, which I
Mhm.
appreciate so much because I'm like, yo, this is what we've been waiting for. Well, this was night one of WrestleMania 42. Again, at the time it was shitty. In retrospect, pretty just we'll say a little bit below average
Yeah.
episode. Maybe yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it is
Fairly.
what it is, yeah. But Defense, do you have any tags for the people? Any way you want to be able to reached by the individuals?
You can reach me at the 77 Tree podcast, put out videos, content, look out for it every week, reviews and whatnot. Just subscribe to this guy. Stop what you're doing right now. Subscribe, like, interact, whatever it is. It was a long weekend and a lot of stuff to go through to get to this point, and we just love talking about wrestling. And nowhere to find me is like you down to chill and watch wrestling. Hey, that's what we do. That's what we do.
Yes, sir. Enjoy the show. And you know me. You can find me on YouTube, Rondo23. You can find me on TikTok, Rondo01. You can also find me on Instagram, Parnell_Shuttlesworth. YouTube, it's Rondo23. Did I say that already?
You can say it again.
And damn right. PS5, yo_moms_homie, HOMIE. Those are where you can find me. And most of the time, we just keeping it light, having fun. Appreciate you, D. This was a very exciting experience. And ladies and gents, don't worry, we will be returning soon with the part two because we got to finish out the weekend. We actually enjoyed part two a lot better. It will need to be rewatched by myself because I was also in such a deep funk. And we'll have to speak about that part also. The fact that the night before influenced the night after so much. Like it was
so
like,
heavily.
would also explain why we took so long with the review.
Yeah.
But again, I appreciate you, Fence. It was a great time having you here. Can't wait to have you back, my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for Defense. I think
Thank
he
you
did a
guys for having
fantastic
me.
job. It was
Thank you.
fucking awesome, man.
Thank you. First
So,
podcast, by the way.
yeah, and I'm sure it'll bring you to a place where you'll become so much more comfortable because, as you see, it's just us conversating. This is what
That's
we
what we
do
do
anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Man, let us get up out of here real quick. Appreciate y'all for staying locked in. If you enjoy what you heard, be sure to follow and subscribe and like the podcast on whatever platform you're getting us on. Again, 77 Tree is available wherever you get your podcast. You see the two cartoon guys' faces. That's me and Andy, man, comma, the word 7, comma, the word tree. And you should be able to find us. We're available all over the platforms, Spotify, Apple Music. I'm not sure about iHeartRadio, but YouTube, you know. I'm fumbling, man. You know me. It's RonDoughs, aka Parnell Shuttlesworth, BKA your mom's homie, aka Young Ash Ketchum. I gotta catch them all. FKA Mr. Big Stuff. And my pronouns is Black Matrix. For Dfence and your boy over here, we thank y'all. I bid you adieu. Good fight. Good night.
Later on.